When peace reigns, it is easy to think that there was never any strife, that all is well because all is calm. Yet the tranquility of this time has its own perils, a lack of preparation. For too long men have lived without need of arms. Too long have nobles grown soft, their muscles wasted, their courage rusted. No people prepares for sunlight, yet all prepare for winter. So too must you ready yourself for the storms ahead. The squire's tasks are unending. Clean a helmet, mend a gauntlet, fetch a flagon of wine, bandage a wound, hold a shield, make a bed. He is a servant, but also a student. If he is favored by his knight, he may learn the secrets of weaponry. The weight of different swords, the use of maces, pikes, and bows. He watches how his master wears his armor, how he rides his horse, how he fights in tournaments, how he behaves in court. The squire observes and emulates, and all the while, he grows. By 18, he is strong, taller, more sure of himself. If the knight is kind, the squire is treated as family, sharing in meals, in laughter, in tales of adventure. The dangers of the road are many, from bandits to wild animals, from hunger to exhaustion. The squire learns to cook, to find water, to tend to injuries, to keep alive. Knighthood is harsh, lonely, dangerous. The squire learns these lessons early. There is little joy in the path, but many rewards. If he survives, he will gain experience, skills, even prestige. People will notice him, ask his name, wonder who his father was, what house he belongs to. The squire hears these questions and answers truthfully, because one day he too might answer as a knight, but those are years in the future. For now, his work is service. Years pass, the squire grows older. The knight ages too, though slower. And still, the two travel, fighting in tourneys, competing against rivals, sometimes resting in quiet villages, sometimes sleeping under the stars, always moving. And in that constant motion, the squire learns not only how to survive, but how to thrive. As he tends the knight's armor, he learns its every creak, its every weakness. He studies his master's tactics, the way he approaches battle, the speed of his attacks, the precision of his parries. In the years before violence, the squire becomes an extension of the knight, anticipating his needs, knowing his thoughts, preparing his equipment. One day his knight will pass him his sword. It will weigh heavily in his hands, but at least it will be a familiar weight. When the squire is 20, he is a young man, calloused, lean, strong, with the beginnings of scars on his arms, shoulders, thighs. He knows the feel of armor, the sweat beneath it, the protection it offers, the burden it brings. He can fight, but not as a knight. Not yet. There is one final test. Knights don't fight alone. They have followers. Squires can be promoted to become yeomen, men-at-arms who fight alongside the knight. But knighthood is a lonelier path. Only one man in armor, alone in the center of attention, holding his shield, raising his sword, charging into the fray.
Knighthood is also solitude.
After a battle, a knight is expected to behave like a king, aloof, silent, almost regal. A squire can share jokes, can speak freely, can complain about blisters. But a knight holds himself to higher standards. How he acts, how he speaks, how he treats others, reflects not only on himself, but on his entire house. A knight is meant to be a beacon of virtue, bravery, loyalty. A squire can stumble, fall, break his weapon, waste his time, but a knight must endure. In some ways, the squire's life is easier. There is camaraderie, there is youthful joy, there is freedom to speak. But the knight's life is greater. For the squire, knighthood is a dream. For the knight, it is a responsibility. Knighthood is not about glory, it is about duty. Most knights will never be kings, but they must act like royalty. Most knights will never win great victories, but they must be prepared for war. Most knights will never hear trumpets sounding their deeds across the land, but they must be ready to die for their king, their house, their code, and their god. The squire understands the loneliness of knighthood, and in his master's example, he sees the price of honor. The knight is a soldier, yes, but also a diplomat. He must know when to strike, but also when to shake another's hand. He must be feared, but also respected. He must be humble, yet confident. He must control his temper, yet unleash righteous fury. He must be swift in battle, yet patient in counsel. He must be strong enough to lead, yet wise enough to listen. Above all, he must be virtuous. He is a role model, a pillar of morality. People will judge his God by his actions, his loyalty, his honor, his mercy. In short, knighthood is hard. Ask any veteran knight, and he will tell you of the toll it takes. He will speak of years wasted, mistakes made, battles lost, promises broken, treaties betrayed. But he will also speak of triumphs, great and small, of battles won, of friendships forged, of lives saved, of lands defended, of honor restored. For a knight is defined not just by the darkness he faces, but also by the light he brings into the world. The squire knows this too, and so he prepares himself not just for the tournaments and battles, but for the quiet moments of reflection, for the times when only his conscience can see him, when only he knows if he has acted well, when only his soul can judge his deeds. Being a knight is not a right, but an obligation. To his God, to his king, to his house, to his lady, and to himself. The squire understands this too, and as he tends to his master's armor, he dreams of the day he will wear his own. The boring history of knighthood. The responsibilities of a knight-errant, age 21. At 21, a young knight is still green. Inexperienced, rash, full of vigor, but also arrogance. He has defeated squires and unseasoned opponents. He knows the feel of victory and the taste of mead in the great hall. But the world is changing. Winter is coming. Armies are massing. The time of peace is ending. Now, our knight is tested. His armor gleams, his sword is sharp, his lance is true. But how is his heart? Does he flinch at the sight of blood? Does his faith waver in the face of death? Does his spirit break when another rider knocks him off his horse? Or when a strong opponent stands over him, demanding surrender? Now is the time for the young knight to prove himself. A true knighthood is forged in the fires of adversity. For the past 4 years, he has been trained, educated, honed, tempered. Now is the time to put his skills to the test. Now is the time to show the world what he is made of. A knight-errant is free to wander the roads. He chooses his own adventures. He seeks his own battles, helps whoever he wishes, and he answers to nobody. But this freedom comes with challenges. Where will he sleep tonight? Will he find a tournament to fight in? Can he defend someone weaker than himself? Knight-errant cannot depend on others, must make his own way in the world, must seek his own glory. But the road is long and lonely. Every night our knight must tend to his wounds, polish his armor, repair his weapons. Every morning he wakes before sunrise, eats what he can find, trains when he can. And always, always he travels, journeying from town to town, from kingdom to kingdom, from castle to castle. All the while he haunteth his skills, waiting for his moment to shine, hoping to win renown, praying to earn his spurs as a true knight. But being a knight-errant is not only about battles and glories. It's about protecting the innocent, helping the weak, upholding the law. Every knight must stand against outlaws, brigands, monsters. Every knight must offer his help to pilgrims, travelers, peasants. Every knight must uphold the law, punish wrongdoers, defend villages. In short, a knight-errant must be everywhere for everyone. And so he journeys forth, seeking adventure, seeking honor, seeking knighthood. That concludes Chapter 4 of The Boring History of Knighthood. See you next time.